support the economic development of Black people all over the world? Ensure Black people's financial freedom by helping them to own thriving businesses and getting them out of the wage system that was designed to keep them from getting ahead. Support the 1 Million Black Millionaires initiative by supporting the first social purpose marketplace, Purpose Black. Purpose Black will be the largest and only global e-commerce marketplace that will provide a haven for new entrepreneurs, and where business can be done with a purpose other than just making a profit. And what is that purpose? To create 1 million Black millionaires within 10 years. 70% of all Purpose Black marketplace proceeds will be dedicated to sponsoring the next Black millionaire. By supporting Purpose Black, you'll be a part of history, as this will be the first time a venture of this kind will ever be attempted. You can 1. Become a free member just to buy from and support Black businesses. 2. Pay $100 per year and get up to 40% discounts on products and unlimited trainings. 3. Get the lifetime membership by making a $1,000 one-time payment, getting up to 80% discounts and a 15% monthly profit distribution from all Purpose Black undertakings. Support Black economic excellence. Live with purpose and make a difference. Join the Purpose Black marketplace today. For information, call us at 833-932-5225 or email us at info@blackeconomyexcellence.com.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this wonderful afternoon. My name is Wasan Yerdao. I am the director of GCDI Department, Global Center for Diversity and Inclusion, under the great company called Black Economy Excellence. Black Economy Excellence is a company that initiates Purpose Black, a new e-commerce platform to fulfill one of its biggest targets with the aim of creating 1 million Black millionaires in the next 10 years. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to this, our weekly course webinar that is organized by our department on the topic, our path to success through technology. For those of you who want to watch our previous webinars, you can get them on our YouTube channel named Black Economy Excellence. If you like us, please subscribe and share to others. We have invited a special trainer for today, Mr. Joseph Kasai. Just on housekeeping, before we get started, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in the Zoom panel, and I will bring them up during the presentation, and we will have time for the answers at the end. I am privileged to announce that Dr. Faisal Tamariam, our CEO, is here with us today. Just to mention a few things about him, the Black Economy Excellence Initiative founder and CEO, Dr. Faisal Tamariam, is a passionate educator, social entrepreneur, civil rights advocate, and researcher with 25 plus years of distinguished academics and business careers. He is well known for creating numerous businesses that have a profound social and economic impacts. Dr. Faisal founded the first and largest prestigious accredited private university named Unity in Ethiopia. At its peak, Unity University offered education service to more than 12,000 students. Because of his strong belief in economic and social impact of education, he launched the Girls Education Project and personally gave free scholarships to more than 5,000 girls from economically disadvantaged families. Thank you for your presence, Doctor. Now, let me direct you to our today's presenter, Mr. Joseph Kasai. With his more than 15 years of experience, extensive experience in developing enterprise-level applications, he is a passionate trainer who has prepared more than 3,000 course videos in 27 courses. He has got 2 master's degrees, and he is a Microsoft certified professional and certified Scrum Master. We are very eager to hear what he is prepared for today. So I now let him to take the floor. Mr. Yosef.
Adunya Kasai. I'm a solution architect, and my title for today is about our path to success through technology. I selected this title because we need to know where we are going, and also we need to know the opportunities that the technology is providing to us. The agendas that I will cover for today's session are the following. First, I'll explain to you about the history, where the technology starts from, and the current status of the technology, plus where is the technology heading to, that is future prospects, and the challenges and opportunities as well, and the possible paths to success by using this enabling tool, that is a technology. And after that, I will have a conclusion remark, and then it will follow with Q&A. So when I start from the beginning, the history of technology, it starts with the social revolution. As you all may know, the world was having the four different stages of social revolution. The first one was agrarian revolution, when people are primarily dependent on agriculture and farming, and then because their need is growing, they moved from agrarian to industrial revolution. That means producing tools and having machines and the machinery introduction to the world. And the third generation is electronics. After the electricity was introduced by the inventors and information technology as well, people move from industrial stage to electronics and IT, and that is a third generation. Right now we are in the fourth generation, that is cybersecurity and partially IT as well. This generation, when we see the generations from first generation to the fourth generation, the motive is the need of people, the people's need. When they are in agrarian revolution, they were plowing the land, they were satisfied with that, but because their need is growing, they move from agrarian to industrial and electronics, and right now we are in cybersecurity. Let me define what technology is first, and after that I will explain to you what are the possible opportunities and also where the world is right now. Technology was first defined as actually it's the term from Greek. It has two terms. The first one is the techne, that is art, and the other one is logos, that means words or speech. But because of the introduction of new technology, new tool, the term is slightly shifted when we come to 20th century. And then in 20th century, especially where we are right now, the technology is defined as the sum of techniques, skills, methods, and processes used in the production of goods and services. And one of the subset of technology is information communication technology. It is in short called ICT. Information communication technology comprises of infrastructure, software, platform, communication, services, and data. I have a reason why I mention these components in here. In the first place, I need you guys to know that there are potential areas that we can improve our service in the areas of information communication technology. It can be either infrastructure, a software, platform, or communication, or services, and also data. And later on, when I come down to my presentation, I will cover most of them. And then having this much about the definition, when we come to the current status of the world, where the world is. As you all know, everything is connected. As you can see from this picture, everything is connected, everything is networked. The world becomes a small village, and there is no way to escape from this tide. For example, I picked two of the giant cloud service providing companies. The first one is Microsoft, and they called Azure, that is their service. And the other one is Amazon, that is Amazon Web Service. As you can see here, Azure has 55 Azure regions in the world. So later on, when I come to cloud technology, I'll explain to you, but you can see that how the world is connected. Azure is available in more than 140 countries. And when we come to Amazon Web Service, it is having 245 different countries that they are connected through Amazon Web Service. And there are areas in the world that are benefited from this connection. As I mentioned earlier, the world is connected. Because of this connection, data is moving from one corner of the world to another corner of the world. The technology is improving, and it has impact on different areas of business. The first one is healthcare. As you can see in the slide, right now, digital diagnostics become true. That means there is no need to have a doctor in front of you. You can get prescription by filling out your symptoms into the computer, and the computer can provide you the diagnosis. That is really a big thing. And the digitization of health records is possible right now. That means when you are moving from one hospital to another hospital, or from one country to another country due to health problem, your information will automatically be transferred directly. So you don't need to worry about that. A smart inhaler is also possible. The other one is the number 4. One is the most amazing portion. That is right now the wireless brain sensor is introduced. That means you can get the temperature and pressure check of the brain within a minute or a second. Artificial organ is also introduced. Precision medicine, that means dispensing the medicine as well as producing the medicine is also possible due to the introduction of this technology. And telemedicine, mobility, ultra-fast scan, wearables, health informatics, digital therapy, robotic surgery. For example, if you have any problem in your kidney, it might take, previously would have been, it was taking about a day or two, but now it's taking less than an hour. So robotic surgery is introduced. I'm telling you about this for a reason. The first reason that I'm telling you about this is that if you guys are working in the healthcare environment, unless you know the technology, you cannot be benefited, number 1. Number 2, in one way or another way, you'll have some kind of, you might need any medication or any service from the hospital. So you have to know the technology so as to be benefited. So these are the technology areas that are impacting the healthcare environment. So this is where the healthcare right now is. And when we come to religion, most of the resources of religion organization are digitized. Online communication is possible right now. We can reach, or religious organizations can reach more people in less time and cost. Online TVs, online radio, and applications are also introduced. As you can see here, there are many organizations, religious organizations that they are connected. So if you guys are any religious person, or if you are serving the specific religious group, there is no way to skip from technology. So technology is benefiting. The other one is business. When we come to business, everything, as I mentioned earlier, the world is linked to each other. So right now, because of the introduction of this technology, you can reach more suppliers, more customers. You can get support, you can give support, and you can get resources, and you can manage resources. And you can check whether there is any safety problem or not, and automation of operations. You can monitor your employees. All this can be possible by having this technology. So if you own a business, and if you wanted to open a business, it is there is no way to skip from using the technology. So these are actually the partial advantages of technology in business. The other one is government. Government is benefited, and government organization is now turning their face toward this technology, and because technology has social and economic impact. As you all know, it has a great impact on politics. Previously, a few months before, actually a month before, we had election, and then you saw how technology was playing a vital role in politics, and in education, finance, security, military. All these are advantages of technology in government. If you are working for a government, or if you are planning to use the services that are provided by the government, it is a must to use the technology. So this is the current status of the technology. Right now, the government organizations are doing services 24/7 without having any human being involvement. For example, 15 years before, when I came here, I was going to DMV to renew my license. But now I can fill out my application from home, and I can get my license back to me within a week. So that's really a big advantage, because the technology enables the government offices to work 24/7 for me. The other one is technology for a family. Right now, unless you use the technology, so as to pay your bill, you have to go in person. But now the technology is enabling other businesses to open their doors to make online bill payment, online shopping, online security system. For example, I can see I can surveillance my house even if I'm out of the country. So security system is also another one. Job search, as I mentioned to you, I have more than 15 years of experience. I haven't ever go to the company to apply a job. I use the job portal and I can apply online. I can modify my resume and then I can finish the job search and the job process. Remote work is also introduced. Transportation and education are part of the technology advantage for a family. The other one is for students. Right now, distance learning is introduced, especially during this pandemic season. Online exam is possible. Online practices, document sharing is also possible. Previously, if you wanted to get your degree from Oxford, you have to go to Europe. And if you want to get your master's degree from a university in California, you have to come here. But now the technology is bridging that gap. Anybody from outside the world can get educated, can get certificate from any university as long as that person is using technology. So if you are a student or if you have family, if you have students in your family, these are some of the advantages. Virtual rooms are introduced. Virtual libraries are introduced. That means you don't need to go to the library to read a book. You can open online. You can have an account online, and then you can download or read books. Online posting of grades. Group projects can be completed through technology. Students using cloud storage so as to share their resources. Teachers, parents, students, administrators are communicating via technology. These are the advantages of technology right now, and that is where the world is and where the world is heading to. The other one is for kids. Kids are now playing and learning technology, playing and learning by using technology. And the other one is there are virtual preschools that are already open. That means you don't need to bring your kid to the school. Instead, you can open your TV and then they can learn as if they are going to the preschool. And virtual libraries, smart toys are introduced. That means you can push a button and then you can learn alphabets. You can push the button and then you can learn mathematics or any kind of technology. Most of the subject areas are digitized. Language, science, mathematics, biology, etc. are introduced, digitized. So kids are using them. The other advantage of technology is in the area of farming. As you can see in the picture, this person is sitting in his house and he's plowing the land, and he's doing his sprinkler from remote. So that means you don't need to number one, you don't need to hire the farmer. Number two, you don't need to go there, and then you can use technology so as to use the benefit of it in the areas of farming and agriculture. The other one is transportation. You already know that right now in US, some of the cars are introduced, that the driverless cars are introduced. That means you don't need to waste your time in driving, but you can work, but the car can drive by itself. This is amazing, am I right? So unless you know how to use that technology, you'll be out. So it's a matter of survival. Unless we use this technology, it's really hard to survive. So that's the other advantage of technology in transportation. When we come to the right side of my presentation, there is introduction of a bullet train that was introduced here in California. Actually, the California governor introduced was 4 years before, and there is a proposal that this bullet train might be true. Right now, it is taking about 5 hours to drive from California to Las Vegas. But because of this bullet train introduction, it will take about 80 minutes to 90 minutes. That means a person can live in Las Vegas and work in Los Angeles. That's how beautiful the technology is. Unless you know how to use it, unless you know how to reserve the seat, unless you know how to use the technology, it is really hard to survive. So the technology has really impact on transportation. Okay, having this much about the impact of technology in different areas, let me show you the census, how people are using the technology right now. In 2016, there was a kind of census that was made, and then among 7.4 billion inhabitants of the world, 3.4 billion were web users. Imagine, almost half of the population are using web. 2.3 billion are active social media users, Facebook, Twitter, whatever technology that is. and then 3.8 billion are unique mobile users. Okay, after a year, there was another census, and then it increases by 0.4 billion internet users. So that's really big. And 50% of the Earth's population is on social media. Imagine, this is not just for you to know the theory, but imagine how many data are moving within the through the wire. And then in 2018, 18 zettabytes of data are available. Zettabyte means 1,000 the power of 4 terabyte. 1 terabyte is 1,000 gigabyte. 1,000 gigabyte is 1,000 megabyte. Imagine how big the data is. See, this much data was available. That means selecting appropriate data and consuming it is really very important. Unless you know the technology, it is impossible to do that. So when we come to emails, within a minute, imagine, within a minute, that means 60 seconds, there were 149,000 emails are sent every minute. Imagine how many emails are exchanging right now. 3.3 million Facebook posts are created every minute. You see how many, how the data is moving? 3.8 million Google searches are performed each minute. That's really big. So when you see here, the technology is growing. And then unless we are smart enough, unless we use the technology, it is really very hard for us to survive. So that's where the world is. 500 hours of YouTube videos are uploaded every minute. Imagine, within a minute, 500 hours of videos are released. So selecting that and then consuming it is up to us. So as to do that, we have to know the technology. Future prospect. The technology is moving to cloud, and it's including infrastructure, platform, software, malware, data. And then the technology is moving to artificial intelligence. That means the computer is acting as if as human being, and then machine learning is a subset of it. Electronic commerce is highly enhanced, like BE is one of them. And then experience management. That means when you go to Amazon and buy a shirt, Amazon will provide you the same pen with the same size. That is called experience management. And this one is highly enhanced by Adobe Experience Management. And then Adobe is working highly on this one. And then when you come to the cloud, as I mentioned to you, this is how the world is connected right now. 55 Azure regions are there. I just picked Azure only. And there are 140 countries that are connected to the cloud. The cloud is nothing but putting your resources online, and then you shouldn't worry about how that is managed. It will be managed by the company, either Microsoft or Google or Amazon. They will manage your resources, but you will consume the services from them. And then this is really a big big area. Actually, in the future, if we have time, I'll explain to you about that. And then the other one is 1.6 petabytes bandwidths are available in the region. So as you can see in the areas, most of the US and Europe have the regions, but in Africa there is only one. That's a redundant zone, but South Africa West and South Africa North. So there are potential areas that we can be benefited using the cloud. So after 5-10 years, every country will be connected through the cloud. So we can consume the resources, we can sell resources, we can learn, and then we can get certificate, we can get all the advantages that I mentioned earlier through the cloud. The other one is artificial intelligence. Natural language processing is now possible. Speech recognition is possible. Machine learning platform, virtual agents. That means you don't need to worry about for example, if you want to call the specific calling center, the machine can act as if there is a person. And then decision management is also possible using the artificial intelligence. Deep learning, robotic processing, text analytics, biometrics, cyber defense. In the future, the countries when they are in disagreement, there will be cyber war. So cyber defense and cyber attack is also part of the application of artificial intelligence. So if you know the technology, you can be involved in artificial intelligence projects. If you don't know that technology, that means you will miss this opportunity. That's the reason why I'm mentioning all this. And marketing automation, image recognition. See, right now, for example, if somebody commit a mistake when he was 18, after 15 years, the technology can trace how he was, how he looked like, and then how he look right now. So these are some of the areas. Image recognition is one of the biggest areas that researchers are focusing and then doing. So these are the applications of technology. And then now the current status of technology. Now the challenges and opportunities. What are the challenges? What is our challenge? And then what are the opportunities? Which area we should focus in to learn this technology? As you can see, we are here in the right side, in the left side, and the technology in the other side of the coin. And there is a big breach. I mean, a big gap. How can we bridge that gap? That is what I wanted to explain to you. And then, as I mentioned to you, the opportunities are 5G is enabled. That means every component, the machine, the object, the devices, people are connected to each other in a fast manner. Remote work is right now possible. And then extended reality, or XR. XR means having the mixture of real world and virtual. And then these are mixed right now, and then they are working together. And then robotic process and automation, natural language processing, machine learning is possible. If you want to learn you don't need to know the high-level programming language. For example, if you wanted to open your website, you don't need to know about coding. And no code or low code is introduced. And ambient computing is also possible. Sensors, variables, natural language processing is possible. Social engineering is also coming. That means manipulating people so that they can give confidential information, which includes the password, their bank information, and people are stealing. Protecting that is one of the potential areas that we can be involved in. See, that is really a big area that we can consider. These are the opportunities. Right now, when you see the statistics, the demand for skill leading IT career is growing by 75%. Look, and then technologists realize that, okay, the companies realize that, okay, technology will help our business, and it grows to 70%. As you can see, a strong network for technology professional is growing. Perception of technology helps the society. Even during this pandemic season, the reliance on technology is growing. Most of the companies are opening their door towards the remote work. And then when we come to the global market and US market impact, that means impact of technology on this is like this. 12% is coming from software, 23% is coming from infrastructure as a service, and 21% is IT, business, and services. So the technology is impacting the world as well as the US market. So if we wanted to involve in these areas, we can be benefited. Now, what are the potential areas that we can be involved in? That's the most important thing. Number one, you can involve in infrastructure or software or cybersecurity or data. It is actually, it's a big box. So when I open it, software, you can be a web developer, and then you can get a job. You can be a desktop developer, mobile developer, embedded technology, because the resources are available, opportunities are also open. And database, artificial intelligence, machine learning, DevOps, data science, quality assurance, all these are potential areas that the minority people can be benefited from. And then this is in the area of software. When we come to infrastructure, Internet of Things. That means connecting one resource to another resource. Networking, cloud computing, server administration, IT support. These are really big areas by which we can be benefited. So these are the potential areas that we can be benefited. So this is the potential area. The other potential area is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a box. When you open it, there is compliance security. You can be a compliance security officer. You can be a penetration tester. You can be a security analyst. You can be risk analyst. You can be workforce educator. So these are part of the cybersecurity areas by which we can be benefited. So the potential is there. The opportunity is there. It is up to us to come in, to jump in, and then to start. So as I mentioned earlier, the incremental innovation. Innovation is incrementally growing. The radical innovation is introduced. It will significantly impact technology, impacts your business. Job opportunities are really immense. If you see job portals, you see too many openings. They are looking potential candidates, and then we need to work on that one. And it decreases costs of production, increases productivity, accuracy, and the business is running 24/7. So if we are using technology, you can get job. If you open a business, your business can run 24/7, and it will be accurate. Okay, the accuracy rate is really growing. So these are the opportunities. What should we do? So the actions that we should do, the first one is we have to expose ourselves. That's the most important thing that I need you guys to focus. We need to expose, we need to open our heart and then embrace the technology. The second one is we shouldn't hesitate. That's our problem. Actually, the main problem is we don't have anybody that is telling us how can we use it. The second problem is that we are hesitant. We should stop hesitating using the technology. We have to appreciate. For example, when you see how the world is connected, we have to appreciate that. And then we have to know that we don't know. That's the most important thing. If we know that we don't know, we'll start knowing it. So that's the most important thing. When you are acquiring a technology, acquire it to use it, not just to acquire. Think what you can do with it, and talk about the technology. Talk about it. Talk about where the world is in terms of technology, and then learn. So these are the actions that we should use. What if we don't use it? It is a matter of the haves and the have-nots. If you cannot use the technology, it will be a really very high risk to survive. It is a matter of survival. So we have to know the technology, okay, so as to survive, so as to create job for people like us, so as to teach our kids to be like us. So we have to learn the technology so as to skip from the risk. And then the other one is to avoid broken communication. Unless we start learning the technology, there will be very hard to communicate. As I mentioned to you earlier, the healthcare environment now is almost fully automated. Unless we use the technology, it is hard to go there manually and then get our information and then get the service. And then it will cost us if we don't know the technology. And it will be really very hard for us to consume the digital diamond unless we know the technology. So these are the possible, some of the risks. But when we see the at the highest level, it is very risky to survive unless we use the technology. So the closing remark, the technology is moving, as I mentioned earlier, very fast. And then agencies and businesses are investing so as to hire more people in the area of technology. Needs are growing, needs of technology, needs of data, and needs of innovation. The demand is going up. The world is connected each other. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, natural language processing is growing. Potential risks if we are not using it. Potential opportunities if we are using it. So this is how the world is moving. Following it and then jumping in and then using this technology will save us a lot. So that's about my closing remark. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any question, comments, or any suggestion, the door is open for you. And then I'll pass to Mr. Watson. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mr. Yosef. That was wonderful. I would like to appreciate you explaining that technology is becoming a matter of survival for all in every walk of life. That was amazing. Especially, Mr. Yosef, I like to stress that your cooperation with Black Economy Excellence and what you are doing is so much appreciated. I am getting many thanking messages from your students who are presented on this webinar through the chat box now. So thank you on behalf of them. Again, the training will continue next week with the title of Potential Technology Areas to Success on the same Saturday and at the same time. So thank you again, Mr. Yosef. Now we will go ahead and take the questions from our participants. Just a reminder, please be sure to type your questions into the question box in your control panel. In the meanwhile, please feel free to give us your reviews on the form provided. it will help us to improve our ourselves and serve you better in the future. So let me see if there is a question. Okay. There is one. How many hours of screen time to kids is recommended, and what is the downside of exposing them for a long?
Do you want me to wait for all the questions, or I can?
No, no. You can. We can go back and forth.
Perfect. Okay, good. Okay, if I get the question correct, the person is asking about kids' time in terms of using technology and how long. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, good.
What is the downside?
What's the yeah, exactly the downside? Technology has everything actually in the world. Even education by itself has advantage and disadvantage, and technology has the same thing. If we are not using it wisely, it will be really very disastrous. And then if we are using really very wisely, it will be really very advantageous. When we come to kids' potential is too much. There are many witnesses, especially the technology groups, like, for example, Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, they started learning technology when they were little. So if we push our kids to the extreme, to use the technology very, very wisely, it will be very advantageous. But we have to think about two things. Number one, we shouldn't affect their school, and then make sure that the time that they are spending in technology is balanced from the family time and also from their school. The other one is we have to tell them as a story that having the learning technology has a bright future even in the future. For example, I don't want my kids learn how to play a game, but I wanted to teach them how to develop a game, and then other people are buying their game, or for that matter, solving the problems of other kids. So it should be we have to wisely approach our kids, and otherwise it will have both a negative and positive impact. The negative impact is that if they spend too much time, they will lose their performance from school and also the family time. The second one is if we do not select appropriate technology, it will impact negatively as well. But if we select the appropriate technology, if we are consistent enough to teach them, to show them the path to success, technology will have immense advantage. In my philosophy, technology is not a science, especially computer science is not a science, but it is a supporting field. That means if the kids are going to medicine or technology or business, knowing the technology, knowing information communication technology will help them in the future. So we have to be wise enough to approach them like this. If I get the question correct.
Okay. There is another one. Where we can start as the beginner to face the technology?
Brilliant question, and it will be covered by next week. And then, actually, what I did is actually a long time before. It was about 6 months before. I was thinking about this by myself. When I was driving, I was thinking about the community, and then where should they start learning this technology? How do they know which potential areas are possible for them? And then there are parameters. The first one is your background matters. Number two, the amount of time that you can spend matters. The other one is your age matters, and your gender matters, and your business matters. So all these are parameters. Next week, I'll try to cover most of them, but these are the parameters by which we can select different areas. In technology, there are about 13 different fields that you can be benefited, and then I'll explain to you by then.
How to reach the third developing countries, including Ethiopia? That is one, and I think it is similar. You can address it together. I am wondering how Africa can join this field of technology despite economic lag and political unrest. Moreover, is globalization ideal for us Africans to considering our deeply rooted cultural identity?
Brilliant. Okay. When we come to developing countries, I see the potential and opportunities instead of risk. Number one, I see either whether Ethiopia or any other African countries or Southeast Asian countries, um, what they are right now is the same as 20 years where the US was in terms of technology. They are not using any technology. If we start right now, we'll be benefited. After 20 years from now, it will be very risky to jump in. So the other one is earlier in my presentation, as you can see, the cloud coverage. Let me just go up. The cloud coverage here, you see, there is almost none in here. Okay, none in Ethiopia, none in Africa, East Africa, West Africa, Central Africa, everywhere. There is only one place that Azure introduces the cloud Azure service regions. So we can be involved in that one. It will be very advantageous. The other one is internet will be introduced. I assure you that internet will be highly introduced in the near future. Unless we are ready, it will be very hard to catch it.
Okay. The other one is, what is the disadvantage of technology from by itself? The disadvantage of technology, and attached to it is from cyber attacks point of view.
The disadvantage of technology, the first one is actually when I have time, I might be including in an article. There is a term called information explosion or data explosion. That means the amount of data is growing extremely. Knowing the correct amount, the correct data, from the correct source is the hardest part in the world. So we have to know the technology, that data, that information is accurate. So information explosion, because of the introduction of the technology, information is exploded everywhere. The second one is losing culture, cultural diffusion. For example, the Western culture is diffused to the other parts of the world because of technology. The other one is, that means we lose our culture, we lose our identity. That's also the biggest thing. The other one is lack of communication. Technology enables communication, but it reduces extremely to the minimum. For example, in our culture, in Ethiopian culture, when you greet a person, we have our own greeting system, am I right? Asking how he is, how the family is, all this. Right now, that is highly replaced by a word called hi. You see how big it is? So that's a disadvantage of technology. But if we approach smartly, we can reduce that. That means instead of accepting the other culture, we can diffuse ours. That's also the way that we can protect. But there are disadvantages for the kids. They are looking things. For example, the suicidal rate is increasing because of the introduction of technology. And the other one is if we are not using technology very wisely, it will be very disastrous. For example, you saw the crashes, the airplane crash in Ethiopia back last year, and then that is due to the maluse of the technology. If we use the technology very well and wisely, it wouldn't have been that problem wouldn't have been occurred. So we have to use the technology very wisely. If we are not using, there will be a problem. Data explosion, information explosion is part of the disadvantage of technology.
There are many opportunities to learn, but it is not possible to learn all. What do you suggest one person should focus more?
That's interesting. The first one is learn what you can learn. That's the most important thing. And then don't close the book. I told my students like that. When you learn any technology, new technology, okay, open the book, start learning it. Don't close that book and then jump into another technology, because the other technology that you are learning is highly related to the books that you read. So you have to learn little by little, but don't forget what you learn. And then that's my recommendation. The other one is make sure to know your background, your interest, and then make sure to have a starting point and ending point, and then make sure to create a learning curve. Okay, how long it will take for me and then what is the shortest path to achieve this. And then you have to be smart enough on that one, because technology is growing too much. And then it's really very hard to learn everything. It's like an ocean. Then you cannot get every water from the ocean. So it's like that. But getting what we want is important.
What is the basic educational requirement to learn technology courses? Do we have to finish high school?
You don't need to finish high school. Bill Gates didn't have the degree, and then the same thing for Steve Jobs. And as I told you earlier, I have a master's degree. My boss doesn't have a first degree at all.
Even if we have a good knowledge about some of the computer courses you teach us, this is from one of your students, but indulging me, we don't have the confidence to sell ourselves. How can we overcome this issue?
So the first thing that I told you earlier is make sure to have confidence. Make sure to sell yourself, and we have to sell ourselves. And because this is a market, this is a world. The second one is the companies like Black Economy Excellence can help us to have a starting point to start learning, working, or giving services to using technology, and then we can grow. So what I'm telling you is that, number one, make sure to prepare your resume very well. Your resume should tell a complete story about yourself. Don't make it small, and don't hesitate to express yourself, and then try again and again.
So, what would be the impact of technology on job opportunities in the future?
Yeah. As I mentioned, as I tried to mention earlier, the technology will enable and decrease the job opportunity. Number one, manual workers, like for example, parking lot, gas station, convenience store, all this will be automated in the future. So it will be really very risky for people who are working there, and these people do not know the technology. It will reduce the amount of time and the amount of people involved. Artificial intelligence, machine learning. But when we come to the software environment, all these manual workers will be replaced because the software is developed. And the software should be maintained. New software should be developed again and again. And all the companies are needing developers. So when we come to technology, it has advantage when you are learning technology, and then it has disadvantage if we are not learning the technology. So the technological advancement will have really big impact on the job opportunities if you are learning technology very well.
Okay. I really thank you very much, Mr. Joseph, for handling all these questions. Yeah, I am waiting if there is anyone left or anything coming. I think we have finished all.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much for the questions. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Mr. Wilson, and thank you.
Great. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you for being here with us today. We have the coming next course webinar at the same time on Saturday, December 12th. We will deal with another topic, as I mentioned earlier. You can go and register on our website, www.blackeconomyexcellence.com/GCDI webinars, and you can invite others. So thank you very much, and see you next time on.
Thank you so much.